Hey, what's going on, guys? So, I'm going to do what I like to side, or what I would be siding if I was going to a tournament right now. Now, this isn't all necessarily the cards, and they're in no particular order. Let's sort them for monsters and stuff first. But this is what I would play. I'm going to put that last. And just because of what decks I would play right now, but this is an idea of what I would side, and I'm going to tell you my choices for each card. This is more just like a basis. If you guys have any other cards or suggestions, let me know, because like I said, I've been trying to get back into the game. So this is more like, here's what I got, give me what you got type of deal. And yeah, so let's get on with it. So these two right here, same thing. Any card face up in the field, send to the graveyard and remove from play instead. That's because the freaking top 3 or 4 decks, even some of the ones that are even top, pretty much I'd say 80% of the decks that can at least win right now play off the graveyard. So you want things to be banished. That's why Fissure and Macrocosmos, these 4 all go together. I'd probably put, in my side deck, I'd probably put 2 Banisher of the Light. I don't really like Banisher of the Radiance, but that's probably your preference right there. And then my Macrocosmos Fissure to make sure my opponent, if my deck doesn't play off the graveyard, make sure his does not play off the graveyard. If it does, well, you know, here you go, you're about to die. There's a couple cards I'm in here missing because I made this I made this yesterday and I already thought of them, and I just turned on the camera, so we'll get to that in a second. Neo-Space and Grandmal, this is just a tech that I would like to side in, no matter what the deck is, no matter what the format. Just a good card, pisses off your opponent, especially if they're XYZ heavy. It's just fun. No Woman of Crossout and Defusion. No Woman of Crossout for Shadows. I mean, any deck really. I wouldn't main it, but there might be another deck that you come across, maybe like weryugioh, if you're in a tournament for that. So No Woman of Crossout, good card to have in the side deck ready to go. If you don't know what it does, it destroys one face-down monster, remove it from play. If it's a flip effect monster, remove from play all monsters with the same name in both players' decks. So, it's a pretty good card. Defusion, also for Shadows, for the fusion monsters that come out. It's a good card, like if they attack, you defuse. And if you have a bigger beat stick on the field, not bigger than their fusion, I don't know. It's a good card, it comes in handy. Definitely check it out or try testing it because the card's cheap. And pretty sure it was in Legendary Collection 3, so you should have a bunch of them somewhere if you got that. Now, Chain Disappearance is a card that is so OP right now because it's good against Shadows, because it's when a monster or Urs with 1,000 attack or less is summoned. So flip summon, whatever, it doesn't matter what kind of summon, it's just summoned. Yeah, so, good card. Takes out, does good for Shadows and Burning Abyss. So, look into that. Awesome card. Chain Destruction, Disappearance. Check it out. Now, this card's not as important, so we'll get to that in a second. And we'll keep this up. So, Light Imprisoned Mirror, Shadow Imprisoned Mirror, that's basic. There's a lot of Stellar Knights, Light Sworn, there's a lot of light decks, Boojins. I mean, Boojins aren't like tier 1 right now, but they're still a good deck. So, this coincides with Boojins. Shadow Imprisoning Mirror, Burning Abyss. Shadows, random other ones, Dark Worlds, anything that uses a dark. It's good to have in the side deck because there's a lot of decks that use darks and lights, so you can't really lose having these in the deck. Along with that, since there are so many decks that use dark and lights, Chaos Trap Hole, as I found, is a good trap card to have in there. It's like a Solemn, but it's only when a light or a dark monster would be summoned, and it's just summoned, so it can be special summon, flip summon, whatever. And it's a good card. Yeah, it's a 2,000 life point thing, but I would usually take this out for Solemn if I'm going against a deck that just does like lights and darks, like Boojins or something. And I play 2 of these. Like I said, the cost is bad, but we used to play 2 Solemn Warnings, so it's not that big of a deal, and it's really good against the decks that pretty much the main decks right now are just Chaos and Dark. So, good card to put in the side deck, nobody really thinks about it. Along with that is Memory Loss. Now, it's a cheap common, it's not that great, but I found that sometimes siding it in against certain cards, it's good. So basically what this is when a face-up attack position monster your opponent controls just activates an effect, except during the damage step. Negate the effect if you do change that monster face-up defense position. So it's basically like an enemy controller / Book of Moon, and it negates the effect. It's called Forgetfulness on Death Row, but it's Memory Loss. People would probably not agree with me on this, but for some reason I just like having it on my side deck. I like being like, wow, this deck plays a lot of effects. You know what? My Phoenix Chains aren't cutting it. I want some Memory Loss. So that's what that is. So before we get on with this card that I would like to talk about, these are the other cards for dealing with the graveyard decks. This is what, well, not graveyard, but monster effects that are Activate by monsters that are banished, as well as monsters in the graveyard can activate their effects to start a chain. So, Soul Drain, good card. Skill Drain, even a more amazing card if you're really going against your opponent. So these two cards coincide with each other. Get this card, it's an amazing card. That's what I put in my side deck. But this card, now, this only applies to if you're playing a deck that makes rank 4s as its main XZ. I'm not saying you always go into XCs, but if you do go into XCs, it's rank 4s, or if you're a rank 4 spam deck. And I'm not just talking like just spamming rank 4. I mean like boxers, anything that makes rank 4s consistently. Constellar, Stellar Knights, Evil Swarm. This card is awesome. So, basically is, if you're going to tournament, you're playing number 101 anyways. So, basically, if you have number C101 on the field, and you use its effect to banish, take monster, and there's another monster your opponent has, you can do rank up magic, the, what's it called, Admiration of a Thousands, I think it's called the something else in real life. I have the card somewhere, but I'm not going to get it right now. So basically is if they also are playing a rank 4 spam deck, so Constellars or Stellar Knights too, Stellar Knights, the biggest thing right now, you target an XC in your graveyard, you target an XC in their graveyard, you take both or more, so if it's rank 4, and then you can get one rank higher that's has a C or CXYZ in it. So basically you can get number C101, and his effect is just basically number 101's effect. But, if this, when this card is destroyed and sent to the graveyard while it has an XYZ material just in general, you can special summon this card from the graveyard, then gain life points equal to the original attack of this card. So basically, if you have number 101 in the graveyard, or if you detach number 1 or something, anything, does not matter. Also, I've noticed when I play on Death Pro, I don't know if the ruling is in real life, but the ruling on Death Pro is if he goes to the graveyard and number 101 was attached, you still get his effect as if number 101 was in the graveyard. So that's pretty cool. And basically, so if say you got attacked over it, you'll lose 500 life points from some bigger beat stick. He comes back, you gain 2,800, so 2,300 from what you just lost altogether. So you gain 2,300 life points, and he's back, and he's ready to beat shit up again. Like, it's just amazing. It's good, and nobody sees it coming, and it's just a good card to side. This rank up card is a good card to side against. I'd put 2 in my side deck if I'm playing like Battle Boxers or anything that makes rank 4s, because even if your opponent, I mean, like I said, it would be in the side deck, so like, you come across a deck that makes rank 4s, there you go. You're good to go. It's amazing. Nobody even sees it coming. They're like, what the fuck? Nobody plays that shit. Like, it's awesome. Now, I know I kind of got on a rant. I was mixing around, but this is what I would play if I was siding right now, if I was going to a tournament, and this would be my side deck. Maybe a little variation, but this would pretty much be the main, and not card for card. There'd be doubles of some of the stuff and like that, and I wouldn't use all of them, but I would pick what I felt like was the most important. So guys, if you like this video, thumbs up, subscribe, all that, share it, let me know what you would side in, and I'll talk to you guys later. See ya!